welcome back to the pod. Before we start, I'd like to thank our partners in Sept Up Studios and also for our sponsors over at the Lyon Rucking Club for this episode. And we're just going to dive right in. So welcome back, boys.
Good to be here.
Good to be here, man.
How was your half-term break?
Good.
That was a break.
It was a break. Yeah. No, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. A lot of things to talk about. And yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
How was your break, JLo?
Yeah, it was good. I went down to my mother's house in the south of France, in the southwest of France, near Narbonne. So we spent 10 days there. I had 4 kids with me.
4 kids?
Yeah.
Why 4?
Well, because I have 3, and we took a friend of one of them.
Right. Solo.
And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I decided, I said yes to him. He was like, hey, let's take me and my friends. And I was like, no way am I taking. I'm not flying solo with 4 kids. Anyway, cut a long story short, I ended up in a car with 4 kids, and we went down to my mum's place.
Yeah.
Spent 10 days. And bearing in mind, my youngest is 5, I had to, it's quite difficult when you basically can't go cycling for 3 hours when you got a 5-year-old.
Yeah. So was mum doing most of the work, or did daddy put in a performance? And
by mum, you mean my mum?
your mum, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was very present, which is good, until, I think it's a bit like a vase that fills up.
Yeah.
When with grandparents with small children, it fills.
You've only got a certain amount of credit.
That's right. And there's a French expression, isn't there? There's just the drop that spills over the vase. Mm. Then it all just falls apart. The vase falls over, it breaks. It's a nightmare. It's terrible. And that would happen roughly at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So the antidote to that is
stiff gin and tonic.
Exactly right.
Stiff
it's gin and tonic.
It gets them through it.
2 or 3. So as long as you make sure there's enough gin in the house, enough tonic in the fridge,
that's fair.
Then it's all good.
Billy, you didn't do half term, obviously.
No.
Retired, living.
Retired.
France.
It's pretty much.
He's wondering what half term is.
Yeah, 6 Saturdays and a Sunday. That's retirement.
Yeah. I took the girls to Scotland by myself, which was good, intense, very intense. And as you rightly say, the gin and tonics were absolutely needed. I guess for my mother more than me, but no, it was good.
How long can you stay with your mother together in the same house? For me, it's 3 days. 3 days and it's over.
No, for my mom, I don't think I have a limit necessarily on that. But
really?
You're gonna have to talk more about that at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe
that's
I don't know.
Maybe that's
You
deep
go
inside.
to exactly how many hours you
figure it out.
No, well, it was 12 days in the end. No, it was good. And Scotland was fantastic. She's moved into a new place. God bless her.
Where is it?
In Falkland, in the Kingdom of Fife, which was, you have to visit. It was glorious. It was glorious traveling with on the Flying Scotsman back up to, it's always an interesting one to see the French that go to Scotland. And on this particular trip, we were the last direct EasyJet flight, and then back via London. But it's always interesting seeing, who the Frenchies are going there and coming back.
We need to talk about this a little bit, because I had a whole conversation with a guy yesterday in a paint shop. He heard me talking English on the phone, and he didn't recognize it. He was like, what language is that? And I said, it's basically Scottish. I was talking to my sister, and he said to me, oh, I dream of going to Scotland. And so, I said, am I going to get a discount, by the way, for all the stuff I'm buying? And he said, maybe. I said, all right, I'll give you the whole thing then. So I told him about how to be a tourist in Scotland. And it's interesting, your comment, because I think most French people have no idea how to be a tourist in Scotland.
What is it specific about?
You can go to Scotland and drive around and visit stuff, and you will miss half of it. Scotland's a very small place, not like France, which is a big place, right? In France, you got to choose where you're going to go there and make the most of it. And if you don't visit French people, then maybe that's not such a bad thing, I don't know. But if you go to Scotland and you want to make the most of it, you've got, in my opinion anyway, you've got to center it around either one of the activities that happens over the year, and you've got to somehow, as the French would say, imprègne yourself of the culture. You've got to absorb yourself into the culture, which is not an easy thing to do. You can't wander around the streets and absorb yourself in the culture. You've got to go to a cultural event, somehow get yourself invited to a cultural event, do one of the main festivals or the Highland Games, the stuff that people haven't really heard of, the French people haven't heard of. So what were the tourists like that you were talking about?
What were the tourists like?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by the French tourists? What do they?
No, just in terms of who's, knowing who's going to Scotland, if they're going on a regular basis, why are they attracted to Scotland? As we know, the French love the Scots love the French. So you're going with a very particular group. They also see Scotland as a remote place, so not too many people. So it's a lot of those French men and women that are looking for, the countryside, those types of experiences. And then, on the way back, we're slowly starting to recognize each other. The girls dressed up as witches on the way back. But to your point, it was interesting because, I did load myself up with the tablets. So they were going to be getting some screen time just so that I could find some respite. Bear in mind, I was traveling without my wife. But we did travel down to Dumfries and Galloway, where I was at prep school. And they're young, so some leniency, but I did have their tablets on. Now, I don't know if you've driven that part of the world, but it's a beautiful stretch of countryside. And the kids weren't looking out the window. Now, I spent my youth on that journey looking out the window. And now I have a nostalgia for, the hills and the glens of southwest Scotland because of it. And took great pleasure in driving, my mother down and seeing it, listening to the same songs and hearing myself say, look, girls, look at the beautiful light on those, on those hills and those mountains, and look at all the pheasants. What's a pheasant, Daddy? That's a Scottish chicken. That's this type of conversation. But it was glorious. Stags running out in front of roads.
This sounds dangerous.
It was
Very dangerous.
Yeah, it was a stunning trip. But anyway,
How about the roads there?
the roads.
Yeah. Good? Because in Ireland,
No, they could
terrible.
do with some upgrades. But as we know, times are tight. And just whilst we're on it, shout out to all the farmers in Scotland and across the UK and obviously across France it's hard times. It's really hard times. But they're mucking in, as they always do. And it was very nice to be there for half term.
Nico, what happens after 3 days?
what happened?
No, what happens after 3 days? Has it always
So no,
been?
it's a build-up. It's a build-up. So when I get there, it's like going in a war zone because, long story short, my family is messed up for a long time, and we had my wife will tell you that we all have a psychedelic, psycho background. I don't know what. So we are all pretty much crazy. So when we meet all together, it's a big mess. So I know it's going to be a mess, but usually it was 1 day. Now it's 3 days since I have kids. But, the tension is building up as soon as I arrive. And then at day 3, I know there will be a big fight. The kids will be there, of course. And then I need to take some time off by myself. So I might go, I don't know, whatever, for 1 day, full day. Then I reload and I come back, for another 3 days. But it's 3 days. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But I have to love my mother, right?
Yeah. But the kids don't cause that. The kids aren't.
The kids are the kids just look at it like a show. But I don't know. So it's pretty messed up. But I'm working on it. But when my wife is there, it's totally different.
Yeah.
I have a totally different relationship with my mother. I don't know if because my wife is there, she's calmer, and me too.
Right.
But,
she calms you down.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So, yeah, it's a challenge. But the kids want to see her, so I get there.
Yeah, no, great.
I've been to London also.
Oh, that's right.
A long time,
How was
10
that?
years. I loved it. And I didn't feel that tension that people are talking about. Like, I didn't feel insecure at all. Subway was amazing. In the street, amazing. Even at nighttime. I mean...
How was the food?
Good. Nothing crazy. Shake Shack.
Shake.
M&M's bar. Or something. No, nothing crazy. But, no, nice city. Amazing city. If I had money...
Yeah, London's great.
It's amazing. People are nice, huh? People are pretty nice.
So where did you go?
We were in London like...
You sure that's where you were?
What? It's not good?
I don't know. Aren't you like...
It's not that good?
You know, like those
Scottish
French...
speaking now?
French football supporters who were supposed to go to Romania and ended up in Bucharest.
Who's that?
When France was playing Romania, the three French supporters got the capital cities mixed up. So they booked tickets to Hungary, Budapest, and they ended up wandering around the wrong city for 2 days before realizing they were in the wrong city and they were going to miss the football game.
French people.
Was it the same for you with London? Because what you've described
It doesn't look like
not the London I recognize.
doesn't it? But at least you were able to keep your royalty jewels.
Yeah, very good point.
That's a very, very big point.
Well, it's a tough password to get into the security.
For the crowd jewels.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just posted about it. Unbelievable.
So basically, they were
And his
saying,
birthday.
It was the Louvre.
what was it?
It was the Louvre.
The Louvre, yeah, the password for the Wi-Fi code. What the fuck is that? Amazing. But basically, they said that they spent almost like 20 millions in 10 years on the art and nothing
On
on security. They just changed the box, which cost 100,000 euros or something like that, and then nothing else. No camera, no extra guards, nothing. In the most beautiful and biggest museum in the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
blows my
incredible,
mind.
really, when you think
Blows
about
my
it.
mind.
And French law enforcement, Billy, this enters your wheelhouse. But yeah, not a great show for French law enforcement, unfortunately.
Well, I think they caught him pretty fast. They assumed an inside job. Security, I'm sure the head of security probably got fired.
It was the first time it was a woman. Just saying. It was a woman.
Right.
No wonder you don't get on with them.
Yeah, just a point. Just a point.
Might want to look deep inside, otherwise there might be some issues.
Mission statement: no women on the security.
It's taken us exactly 15 minutes. And we're already into controversial
I
topics.
feel comfortable now.
Well, I think the assumption right off the bat is inside job. So you have to look at, who worked there, who knows the routine. I mean, because that was a specific window. They rented that truck with the ladder, which now I think that company's using as an advertisement.
Yes, it is.
The sign on it was whatever company.
Right.
And my wife was telling me
Rented it.
they
Yes, they rented it, yeah.
But now the company is saying when you need to do a job really fast,
At Kilut.
rent from us.
That is fact. They rented it.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Their own
yeah, yeah.
names.
I don't know. But apparently they were following these guys, and it was only until that they were getting on a plane to leave the country that they arrested them.
And one of the main guy was a famous, like, motorcycle guy, like, road, like, how you say, like, in the mud and everything. In the
Like
9th
dirt
Street
bike.
district.
Dirt
Yeah.
bike. Yeah.
Bike cross. He was famous. His name was Momo, I don't know what, La Bécane, so something very... And he was famous. He was followed by hundreds of people,
Wow.
even thousands of people.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean, in France, in Lyon, especially, everywhere you go, you see these, they help move people in and out of buildings, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
small streets, you're constantly seeing them.
Moving
So they
around.
rent this, they pull up.
dressed like they were doing
Yeah,
an
they knew.
exhibition.
They knew that window, that time.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Billy then. Billy, instead of renting it, what would you have done?
I mean, if they stole it
Stolen it would be better, right?
like that,
Because then you could leave it.
and leave it.
No, there's untraceable
Right.
back to you.
Because you go back to World Trade Center in 1993, they found the axle of the U-Haul truck that they drove into the garage,
Uh-huh.
and they had rented it in their own name and went back to get the deposit.
No way.
Yeah. They called and wanted to get their deposit back. I think that might have been, I might be wrong, but they might have arrested them when they came back to get their U-Haul deposit. So anytime you put your name on it, maybe a stolen credit card or something like that, but certainly not your own name.
But fair to say, this could not have come at a worse time for, can we say the French government? Does it have a government?
I think it's a good time, no? Because it hides the rest of the
Yeah,
nonsense.
cherry on
going
the cake, the final
It's-
touch.
It's like, because there's so much nonsense going on with the government that
Yeah.
this is great. Because it's not that bad, right? No one died.
It matched the actual situation.
Everybody loves a bank heist or a...
Yeah, it's going to
know,
be turned into a
always good
film
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
with, with four. I mean, they sound like plonkers, these guys, but
Yeah,
plonkers who were having a good time preparing for this
Yeah.
decided to do something fun.
Yeah.
No,
It's a sort of an Italian Job remake. I mean, how do you say, I only told you to blow the bloody doors off in French?
Why, it's not going to sound the same, is it?
No, but interesting. But let's not then allow this to get in the way of conversations elsewhere. What else is happening in the French government that we should be speaking about? Where are we at?
But I mean, the big thing since 2 days, like with the election of the new mayor in New York, it looks like the far left in France won something. Like they won an election. It's crazy. They are advertising it on Twitter, on TV.
Because of New York.
Because of New York, for them, it's a big victory. It's like almost it was there because of their help that
Right.
the mayor wins, you know?
Right.
So as soon as they can find something to talk about, they just advertise it. So
Well, if only we had somebody from New York on the podcast who could actually speak to this topic. I mean,
Hi, my name.
hello.
I'm a refugee from New York.
Billy, did you?
I left Tuesday night at the. Once the totals came in, I got on a plane.
Did you vote for Zoran?
I can't. I've never. It's been like 10 years since I've been a resident of New York City. So it's
10 years.
no, I'm saying it's been that long since I lived
Okay.
in one of the five.
I think he's saying you have to be a resident to be able to
To
vote,
vote,
in
yeah.
this kind of election.
Yeah.
But you consider yourself a New Yorker first and foremost.
If you say you're a New Yorker and you live in the five boroughs, but I live like 10 minutes outside one of the five boroughs, so I consider myself a New Yorker.
And you can remote vote? Yeah. Or
I did for the presidential mail-in ballot. The governor of New York is up next year, so I'll probably have to do a absentee ballot if they ever count it.
What's the difference between the governor and the mayorship then?
Two totally separate elections. Just like your mayor here in Lyon has nothing to do with, I don't know if it does, the presidential election.
regional president or something like this? I would
Yeah, it's
say.
just a separate.
The mayor.
Consider it like a
you have
local
the-
election. Like
The
even
guy managing the.
your own town growing up, like that mayor of that town is separate from.
But the governor of New York
Mhm.
has what powers relative to the mayor of New York?
All-encompassing powers for.
No, it's the
York
New
State.
York State, and you have New York the city,
Yeah,
and the governor is the governor of the
of the state of
entire
New York.
the
State,
state
yeah.
of New York.
Oh, that's where I'm.
So one of the
being
20,
Yes, sorry.
of the 70.
Yeah, overall, yeah.
You were
I mean,
talking about
most
York
New Yorkers
City,
consider
New York State, right?
it's New York City, and that's
got
it.
it. Got it.
But if you live more than an hour,
You just assume I'm dumb and explain the
I
basics.
would never do that. But yeah, so that was pretty big. I mean, he was expected to win. They had two other candidates splitting the vote, but I don't even think their tallies would have allowed him to be defeated.
And he won by a big margin, or what? I didn't see the results. Was it a big win or?
Closest was the former governor Cuomo, which was a horrible candidate. I think Mondami got 50 point something %, and the closest was maybe he was around 40%.
50's a lot.
It's a big one.
50 is a lot. It was one of the biggest. They said it was the biggest turnout since like 1969 for New York. So he got 1 million votes, and I think the last mayor got like 700,000 votes. So it was a big turnout. I saw one of the statistics today that 80% of his votes that he received was from somebody who lived in New York City less than 10 years. So, you know, gentrification, people moving in, 4 or 5 people in an apartment, you know, coming out of college, leaning left.
And he won on what? What was the main reason? Do you think he?
I mean, you have to look at his actual policies. That, you know, his main thing was affordability, which, you know, if you ever been around New York or any London or
it's
Paris,
crazy expensive,
it's crazy expensive. So you have to say, yeah, that is a legitimate concern, and nobody else really addresses it. But everything is going to be free from this point on, all right? So free healthcare or free childcare. Free buses, raising taxes on millionaires and above. You know, that was pretty much his platform.
Because from a European perspective, what I've been reading in the European newspapers is basically saying everything he's going on about, we already have.
Yeah, but the difference is, you know, his party, he calls himself Democrat Socialist. So the only other person that ever got elected was AOC. And it's not a mainstay in the U.S. Like socialism
is a bad word.
is a bad word in the U.S.
So it
And
should be.
so they put Democrat in front of it, and that's supposed to soften the blow. So it is, you know, I think socialists around the world are ecstatic. I mean, it's the financial capital of the world, really.
Yeah.
So it is a big win. I mean, there's no way you can say it isn't.
You could look at it that way. Or you could look at it as a big loss for the mainstay parties, because it's basically, the way I read it is that something like what's going on there. Because I always look at America as a bit of a precursor to what's going to happen over here.
Yeah.
So you've had the Trump movement, or the MAGA movement, let's call it. So 2014, 15, 16. And it takes a few years, and then it happened here with Italy, with Germany, with the rise there, and now with the UK, with the Reform Party, and obviously in France, it's a different matter. And it's happened in Austria, and it's happened in Romania, and it's happened in Poland now for a wee while. Right. So there's, that MAGA thing has maybe been a precursor to what we see in Europe. And now what's happening in America feels to me, again, like a bit of a precursor as a rebound in the other direction. Maybe we'll see, we'll get there in like 8 years' time or something like that.
I think you guys are way ahead on the socialist part, though. I mean, as far as there's some parts of it, right? Like free healthcare. That's a problem in the U.S. If you get sick, it's the number one reason for bankruptcy, is if you get really sick in the U.S. Yeah.
The number one reason for bankruptcy is
the healthcare. You go to surgery or so, and the bills never stop. Collection agencies, and I mean, you're screwed. So that is a problem. The Democrats never really did an autopsy on their loss to Trump. I hope the Republicans are going to do an autopsy on this, because if they're not addressing, I mean, Trump, I don't want to say he had it easy, but it was like, we're going to seal the border. 4 million people coming in a year. That's a pretty, okay, easy one, right? You close the border. But this one, the affordability and being able to reach out to more of that generation. I don't know what it is now, Z or whatever.
But you're right, Bill, though, because if this is kind of like a European style political movement moving in from what we had more like in the 60s and the 70s, then you guys are in for a bit of a rough time, because it doesn't.
Well, the biggest thing is taxes, right? I mean, you guys.
It doesn't address the fundamental problem. It's a new political movement that comes in, born out of. Actually, maybe it's slightly different though, isn't it? Because if you think about it, maybe socialism that appeared here was more about, maybe in the Western countries, in the West European countries, it was more about the fact that the wealth had been created, and some people were doing quite well, and a lot of other people weren't, and so they wanted to, or maybe riding on the wave of becoming wealthy, and you ride on your laurels. I think in France, this is what happened. France became rich, France became good, France became a bit too easy. Life was too easy, and then people decide to become socialists, because that's the next evolution of man, isn't it? You become rich, you go from agrarian society, you go through industrial revolution, you become then rich, and then you decide to become socialist. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, but you keep your money. The rich socialists keep their money.
Sure.
While everybody else is
gauche caviar, we say.
That's what we have. Gauche caviar.
Is fighting each other. That's the historical issue.
Translation.
Socialism, communism. That's the issue. If you're,
but this doesn't sound like that. So in New York, this sounds
not yet.
Someone wanting to address what are serious systematic problems in the USA, which have not been addressed by either the Republicans or the Democrats for decades.
No.
Which is shortage of housing, which is what brings our housing up. Importation of people, which also brings our housing prices up. You can't have healthcare that's only for the few and not for the many. Or these kind of systemic fundamental problems are not really addressed in the long term, and so this is a reaction, isn't it?
And then New York has always been blue. Also, no, it has always been there was Giuliani
and Bloomberg. So Bloomberg actually had 12 years.
Rudy
had
a lefty, though.
He came in Republican and then was independent.
Yeah.
And he bought a third term. Like, he had the city council bless him for a third term. So thank God we have term limits. But then de Blasio came in, an avowed communist. Many trips to Cuba and hanging out, Nicaragua. Yeah, he was off the hook. But it's something started. So I think the problem here with the Democrat Party is you got Chuck Schumer, who's the senior senator for New York, 40 years, 50 years, whatever it is, in power. He's getting pushed out. So who's the next? House of Representatives, mayor, senior senator. I mean, there's only 2 senators per state, so one of those become from New York, not like Bernie Sanders from Vermont, who's been there 50 years and has got nothing done. But that could be the level up for this party.
Because when I still have yet to meet 1, 2, 3 French people who like Trump, apart from Nico over there. But apart from Nico,
Is that right?
We are
You have-
turning communist. This country, France, is turning communist. So it's even further than what's happening in New York. I mean, what I think is that Europe is a precursor of what is going to happen in the US.
You think it's that way around?
Yeah. I think we are turning communist. It will come to you
Well, I mean,
very
I
soon.
ruck around Lyon a lot, and
Yeah.
I found 2 like legit full encampments with porta-johns and water, like camping water
Yeah.
for, up on Croix Rousse
Yeah.
in the backside. And then I went all the way down to the Confluence Park, and there's another one there. And, people are coming in with no place to go.
sure. But this is Europe. We welcome people with open arms here.
Well, it doesn't look too open there, and they're
Well, not everyone can get a
Plastic
house. There's no houses for everyone.
No, but at least it's immediately free healthcare. It's immediately
Yeah, they could still
Yeah.
stay, and no one's going to really kick them out. So they can come and they can stay, and eventually they will get a little card that gives them access to free healthcare and money and lots of things.
JLo, you missed our exploits up in Normandy, but we were up there for D-Day,
Tell us all about it.
and it was
noisy,
trip
rainy.
of a lifetime.
Oh,
Noisy.
rainy.
So,
rainy.
so to give the context, we went up to Billy gathered a team from Lyon and from around the world as part of representing Lyon Rucking Club, and we went up to Normandy to ruck, to soak in the atmosphere, to experience that period, to commemorate those that have been, those that lost their lives. But it was very, very impactful,
Oh, good.
very emotional, and I'd love to go again. I mean, it was like we were time traveling, stepping back into time.
This was in June.
This was
June 6th. Yeah, June 6th anniversary. So I think they do like the week around it, depending on where it falls on day of the week.
You're not that dumb. D-Day is in June, right?
Mhm.
Huh? Well,
I looked it up.
Well, we did the tour. We hired a private guide. If you had come for the tour part, we would have gone to more of the Gold Beach, Sword, and Juneau, where the Commonwealth landed. But we stuck pretty much to the U.S., some of their airdrop sites and beach. So we had like 2 days. Yeah, did 2 days tour guide. Very knowledgeable.
very amazing. And we did the American way, like the bus,
Yeah,
literally
we
for
got a
500
bus.
people.
Well, it was
5 Americans.
probably like a 20-person party bus, and it was like 5 of us. So very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Thank God we didn't have to drive because the streets are very narrow.
But the most amazing thing is that in every church, in every village you stop, there is an amazing story. I mean, you can make a movie out of every village you stop in.
Yeah, the
That's-
community in Normandy really keeps it alive. I mean, there's plaques everywhere for an action that would have happened. It's mostly French that came out as the reenactors. So there's vehicles, tanks, uniforms.
It's
It's
almost,
incredible.
almost a bit surprising because if my history isn't too bad, it was a little bit the tactic or the strategy of D-Day was scorched earth, was it not? So when the Commonwealth, as you say, landed, so the Brits, the Americans, the Canadians, and maybe some others, I don't know, but principally those guys, they landed in Normandy, and the tactic was to make sure we got to get in and we got to push them back, no matter the cost. And the cost to the French and to the villages and the towns
No,
of
it's very
Normandy was devastating.
Yeah.
Whole towns devastated, collateral damage huge, and hundreds of thousands for French people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
So it surprises me a little bit to hear they commemorate it in the sense that there was such destruction from that.
Well, I mean, certainly the French citizens who had no part in the army, police, or anything political, who were just doing their jobs every day, they were caught between the Allies and the Germans. There's a town 4 hours from here. I keep forgetting the name. I haven't been to it yet, but on the way from southern France to Normandy, they murdered everybody in the town, burnt the town down, and it's preserved. So you can go there. I've only seen pictures of it, but
you show me.
they had the car burnt, the church, like there's no roofs in this small, like a hamlet. I wouldn't call it like a big town. You know, that's what the Germans were doing on the way to Normandy beaches. So yeah, they were caught between, you know, horrible scenarios. But the French resistance was blowing up rail lines, knocking bridges down, assassinating, you know, high German officials. So, you know, it was war. It's horrible. I mean,
but seeing everyone walking around in uniform,
it's amazing to see.
Live military personnel, you know, mixing it up with the, you know, the actors.
And then the aircraft. I don't know if you guys, did you get to see much aircraft? Because on the 6th, they flew the day you left.
Yeah.
They flew all day dropping packages.
And there was a drop also. You saw a drop off.
Yeah.
This may sound like a dumb question, but do Germans come as well or not?
No, there were some Germans there.
Yeah. The German
dressed up like Nazis.
Dressed up like Nazis?
Yeah, they're cruising around.
Like,
there's a whole German camp. We went to a whole German camp.
What's the purpose?
Because they reproduce scenes.
Oh, I see.
It's to really take you back
So-
To recreate a certain battle at a certain spot. Like we went to the one farmhouse, and I guess they owned a lot of property. And on one side was like the U.S. reenactors, and then you go through the building. On the other side, there was a whole German camp, right? Like they had the BMW motorcycles and, you know, rocket launchers.
And at night
they were just hanging out. And then they do a demonstration. People come, tanks show up. It's, you know, trying to...
But I was amazed by the number of things you can still buy.
Yeah,
They
there's a whole
from the
market.
war. Yeah.
There's a whole market on...
of paraphernalia from that era.
Yeah, you can buy penicillin, you can buy medicines, you can buy chewing gums, you can buy almost everything still.
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive at some point.
So it's all merch.
Yeah.
You literally
There's the reenactor stuff. Like there'll be a whole thing.
It's unbelievable.
You
So
can
it's
buy
a massive flea market
buy,
from 19...
You can buy like replica machine guns, which we saw the police get involved with somebody at one of the museums.
Yeah.
With the drinking.
Cruising around with a gun.
Guy had a...
It was very strange. I mean, it was very
It
strange.
was very strange.
Right.
I think it was a real one. And he
Oh.
was pretending it was part of the cosplay he was playing and stuff. But he was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we
No, that's
just,
true. That's true. That's exactly
Police
how I
showed up,
remembered
took
it.
him away. He had
So
a
we
gun
found-
on
I
him.
mean,
And we were right there. We were right next to him. Yeah.
assassination
And
or
this
something.
guy's got
We
a...
thought they were coming to us. I think we were standing behind the guy, and the police officer started, like, made eye contact with me.
Yeah.
It was coming right to me, and then someone's like, no, it's this guy. I'm like, oh. I can't get arrested at St. Mary Glees. This will look bad.
That would be a good story.
Great story, but
But you were sat there just having a beer after, because we were rocking there, so it was, it was also training. And, then 4 B-52 bombers just constantly in circulation. You see them going up the coast and they're flying around. Nothing gives you the same sense. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable.
And one thing I think you guys noticed, they have active duty from all the countries do a parachute drop on the 6th, if the weather's right. So they do a bunch of training drops, and they do some like school stuff. Guys were telling me they went to the schools and met the French kids and as American soldiers, and but they're Germans, and they all hang out at St. Mary Glees right next to the church after their work day, and there's just beer flowing, bands. The anybody with a vehicle does like a little parade at the end of the day. So you'll be sitting there and there's an active duty French paratrooper, there's an active duty German paratrooper, an American, a British, and everybody's just drinking beers and hanging out.
And what I liked also is when we watched the Longest Day movie, at the same time, like almost the same day we did the
I think
tour.
it's a 3-hour movie, so I had to run it like 3 days in a row for everybody.
Then
It was on loop in the Airbnb.
But it makes so much sense then when you watch it and you're like, wow, I was there. It
And they filmed it there, which is the cool part. Yeah.
was very nice.
Now, very worthwhile trip. And the Rucking itself. I mean, we went with Cadre Dan. Shout out to Cadre Dan, who's killing it on social media. But he took us, now Billy, you're going to have to remind me, but he took us up the coast from
We started. Where did we start? We started in
Was that a village?
Grand Comte Macy, which is just to the west of Pointe du Hoc.
Yeah.
So we went there. We took those photos. It was raining by then, right?
Yeah.
Then he did a cadre-led ruck. So we walked out about 6 miles, gave us a little history, just overlooking Omaha Beach, and then came back.
And Pointe
Pointe du Hoc.
du Hoc. So that's
where the Rangers climbed up.
I mean, to put it into perspective, you can still see the scars in the land from the bombs. So you've still got the divots, huge holes, and then fortified. I mean, it was impossible to think. It was a suicide mission. You've then got the fortified. What were they called?
The
Gun,
bunkers.
The bunkers, and
which I was
The
disappointing
Nazis
were not that much maintained. Was not very
bunkers.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they keep them clean.
Yeah, but still,
And
it's not.
No growth
Gimmick,
on it.
yeah.
It used to be there's a big fence around all the big bomb craters now, but it used to be a walkthrough there. And you could walk into the bunkers, the gun emplacement. We didn't have time, but that main one we took the picture.
Yeah.
The main bunker that overlooks the beach inside is a nice memorial for the Rangers,
Oh,
like everybody's name who died there, the units that were there. That's pretty well preserved. But those other ones are just pretty blank.
Yeah.
I think they're probably picked clean throughout the years.
Yeah.
And then,
but I think just by people. I don't think it's something that the government said.
they
have to
stepped
clean it,
in
yeah.
with that fence.
Yeah.
I think, and then there is some erosion. So if you remember Pointe du Hoc, it comes out to that point, but out in front in the water is kind of like like a terrain feature. It almost looks like a little mountain or a little pyramid coming out. 2 years ago, we were getting ready to go there, and it was starting to collapse. It was on video. They're showing that. So the erosion's really taking that out. So I think the government did step in and prevent you from getting too close to the edge, because you saw that. I mean, I think one wrong step and, you're 100 feet down. But they preserved it. I think my first time there, early 2000s, and, it's very well maintained. I think they do a good job.
But when you are with American for 7 days, so first it's very noisy.
That's probably a cast in its.
Here we go.
That I had
Frenchman's
to put my.
experience with.
I brought my soundproof. Okay,
He called
stuff.
he called lights out about
And
6
was able to
o'clock
sleep.
every day.
and then they destroy everything you eat. I mean, you bought them a nice béarnaise, which is okay. And if you had the chance to sleep when they use the béarnaise, they will put ketchup in it, and they will make their own sauce. And they just fuck it up, and they call it like, how do you call it? Like I don't remember.
Remoulade.
Huh?
Remoulade.
In remoulade, they call it a remoulade. They
And it-
can't enjoy
basically an
a
improvement.
a nice béarnaise. They have to put ketchup in it. I mean,
We were short on supplies.
I
I'm
don't.
looking up the leftovers, and my friend Bob's like, "Oh, we'll just put the mayonnaise and the
See?
ketchup together."
can be preserved.
It was a sort of cultural experiment.
Yeah.
So there was the Brit. I think I was the only Brit, right?
Yep.
3 Americans, 4 Americans,
Yeah,
and
and a Frenchman.
a fellow Frenchman.
Yeah.
You did longer than I did.
Yeah. No,
I probably added
very
to
nice.
the volume,
It was very
didn't I?
That's why you both brought your cars to the rock.
Yeah.
Out of
Be
the.
any. As soon as we finish the stuff, we left.
No, but honestly, the stories from Kadjo Dan and the Guruk team to be absolutely applauded. And I wanted to talk about it on this pod because obviously we've got Remembrance Sunday coming up, and then Tuesday 11/11. And this podcast is very much going to be very much in respect and homage to our military and our law enforcement.
So whilst you guys were doing that on the commemoration of D-Day, I was with my godmother and her partner, and he has a bunch of Second World War stuff in his garage, including an American Jeep, which is worth a fortune.
Yeah.
And it's an original Jeep. So apparently they made these Jeeps to be used one time. So they would make them come off the production line.
Suicide mission.
They're basically suicide machines.
Mass production, right?
And they come off and they go in with the soldiers, and the whole point is they're not coming home. And he's got one of them pristine, preserved
nice.
in his garage. He's got a whole bunch of stuff, but he flies airplanes, so he's a bit of an airplane nerd. He wears t-shirts with airplanes on it, that kind of guy. Anyway, so He's lovely, by the way. And so,
Yeah,
but he is.
Yeah,
He really is. He is, and he's an amazing chef. He wouldn't mix ketchup and béarnaise, that's for sure. Never in a million years.
Do what you got to do.
Did it taste good at least? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It did not. It's not possible. So we went to the local commune des communes for the celebration, and that was very moving as well. We stood there. It was crap weather. This is in Bourgogne, in the Morvan. So we're in the kind of hills of Morvan, in the middle of a nice village, and they do this commemoration every single year. And the mayor comes out in all on his gear and his get-up, and the people come from all the villages around, because it's a commune des communes, so this is the biggest village in the area. And they read out, so they sing the national anthem, of course, and then they read out the names of all the dead. It took bloody ages.
Yeah, they do.
And this is not a village that's been attacked during the Second World War. This is a village that sent people to the front or resistance, etc. So these are people who went off to basically die, never came back. And there's a massive list. And it's very moving when they're reading the list of all the names.
Right.
Of all the people. It took, 10 minutes or something? And then they get the kids involved. So the kids are reading the names. So the mayor starts, and then someone else does, and then the kids come up and read the names. Anyway, it was, so whilst you were doing your thing, it was the rest, the rest of France is also doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, it's good. It's good that they keep that kind of stuff alive.
Yeah, I thought you were doing live tracking. What's the development on your live tracking?
Oh, my day job.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, my day job is not going to, this kind of stuff. That's for sure.
Right.
People are very much alive in my day job.
How is it going?
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going fine. It's going very well. In fact, the market, I mean, believe it or not, this is a very anti-cyclical, it's a very French way of putting it, isn't it? Counter-cyclical, I should say, market that I'm in. So the sports events world is doing really well. Prices are up. Participation numbers are maybe up 20-30%.
Is that right?
On last year, something like that. All the cool stuff gets booked up immediately. So, for example, you see they've just released the Tour de France.
Yeah.
The dates and the parcours, the circuit, etc. It's coming through my village this year. My mum's village.
Mum's village.
Yeah, we're one of the main stops.
That's nothing. Okay.
Not up
No. Down in Aude, down in Les Corbières. Okay. So it's starting in Carcassonne. I think it's the fourth day, stage 4. And it starts in Carcassonne and finishes in Foix. And it's coming through my village. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Wow. That's
it's going to be fabulous.
How come it never comes through Lyon?
It did.
Do you know why?
2012.
I mean, there is a
reason.
Yeah.
It's because our mayor, vaulted he may be in all his infinite green wisdom,
Bike lanes?
he does not want sports events. He is actively against sports events because it brings cars and people and pollution. And so he actively says to the organizers of the Tour de France, I don't want you anywhere near my city.
Wow. That's too bad.
So, regarding what you are going to say, what is selling like immediately for the Tour de France?
So, l'étape du Tour, which is where the amateurs can pay to ride on the same circuit, basically, not at the same time on the same day. But
it's one day before.
It's one route, isn't it? They choose one stage.
They choose one stage, and it's almost always the same one in the Alps.
I had a friend who did that. Shout out to Graham Smith, who is a big rugby guy, took to cycling and was mad enough to do that.
Wow.
And I don't want to say his time, but anyway, he did very well. Very accomplished cyclist, but very hard to do.
So this is 16,000 places, right? I think it's about 16,000 sold out in 4 hours. And people
60,000.
16,000 bikes are going to be traveling along 170k or something like that of road.
Totally amateur.
So all amateurs. Yeah. Well, there'll be probably some ex-pros and stuff, but it's an amateur thing.
Yeah.
It's basically a cyclo-sportive, which means start when you want, finish when you want, more or less. I mean, it is timed, but it's not a race.
Sorry, but this isn't the stage that's going to be going. They're not doing the stage that's going through your mother's village.
No, unfortunately not.
That's a shame. Are you going to be doing this stage?
No, I'm not. No, I mean, l'étape du Tour, I didn't even think about it, but I'm going to be doing other stuff. But l'étape du Tour, I wouldn't do. There's just too many people and stuff like that. But anyway, it's a great event because it makes you feel like you're part of it.
Doesn't it? This isn't the J-Lo of old. I'm surprised that you haven't done it. I'm surprised that you're taking up the challenge.
Am I disappointing you?
Yeah, well.
I have other plans.
I bet your brother's done it.
No, but I mean, this is the second most viewed sport event in the world. So
You know
16,000
what else they did that? We were in Paris for the Olympics.
Olympics. Yeah.
And for the marathon, I think the night before, they made it like a regular marathon race, but it was for amateurs, you know, much like that. Because we were trying to
It's a
cross the street and it was like,
serious money spinner.
oh, yeah.
So
More than one
people pay a lot of money.
marathon race.
Yeah, you're basically running at the same time as all the infrastructure's up.
Yeah.
You got access to the same sort of thing. It makes you feel like you're
Sure,
professional.
sure.
And you know,
It's a great story.
cyclists in particular
Yeah.
want, you know, I don't know if you cycle, but people like me who cycle, right? These wankers dressed all in lycra on the bikes who take themselves mega
Let's
seriously.
say
In English, we call them mammals, which is very apt. It's, you know, the middle-aged men in lycra. And so this is me, right? People like me, me and my friends. And when we ride our bikes, which are very expensive, and we ride around on our bikes, there comes a point when you're riding when you think you're a professional. You know, you got cars behind you, you're doing 45K, you're pushing it, and you know, you think you're amazing, and people in the car just think you're an absolute tosser. They hate you. You think
There's a lot of hate.
you think you're in the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Right.
And the people behind are honking because they think you're amazing. But they're honking because you're being a prick, because you're
Right.
basically
Taking too much road.
taking too much road. So these guys who've gone and done the Étape du Tour, the 16,000 people, it's so that they can feel,
Sure.
it's like be part of something bigger than them. It's also,
Yeah.
it's going to be an
Yeah,
awesome
and then you
event.
can compare your time with the professionals and the various other stats
Exactly.
that come from.
You compare your time to
Yeah.
the pros,
Yeah, it's
although,
smart.
you know, it's not comparable because the pros are cycling in a peloton that's going at a certain speed, and there's so many people on the road at the same time. I've heard from people who've done it. It depends on when you start, and you know, whether you start towards the beginning with people who are good, you know, the better guys, and then maybe you can compare yourself. But if you're at the back now, it's almost impossible. You're just trying to navigate through people.
and then it is immediately followed by the woman Tour de France now, or something like that. Now
Yeah, that's right.
that's new since last year.
That's quite new.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite new. That will gain,
Yeah, that's
Popularity.
definitely gained popularity. Yeah,
but there's still quite a big gulf between, you know, the two. Although, you know, they've got the same sponsors, they've got the same teams, the same bikes, so everything is kind of the same. They
Now
use
it's streamed the
technology.
same way also.
Sorry,
It's streamed the same way also on TV. Like you can see it on TV,
is it
almost the same.
Is it on the same? Is
I
it
think
like?
it's in. On
Is it the
France
same
2,
guys? Yeah.
Mm.
You know what the most wonderful thing about watching the Tour de France in French is, when you're watching it on TV, is that they have the 2 or 3 sports commentators who will talk about the actual sport, and then they have this other guy,
Yeah.
who talks about France,
yeah.
and the chateaus,
Yeah.
and
The food,
history,
the
story, yeah.
food, and the culture
It's
of the areas. He's my
glorious.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
it's
so
glorious.
erudite and so well spoken.
Yeah,
I could never imagine speaking as well as he does. And when he speaks, it's
so you're appreciating his French here.
not only
His French, but it's
the
not
language he uses,
right.
but the knowledge,
The knowledge
that he has,
is amazing.
and the way he talks about it.
So
And he talks maybe 20% of the time, something like that, compared to the others. But for me, he's like
What's his name?
70% of the reason I'm there.
do we have his name?
I don't know what his name is.
I don't remember.
He is quite famous, I
Yeah, yeah.
think. He's quite well known.
But I heard also that there are less and less cars prior to the, like, you know, the car where they were throwing things to people like gifts.
Caravan.
Yeah.
Caravan that comes
Caravan.
around before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is less and less of this because of for ecologic green stuff reason.
Oh,
So they don't want you to.
that is a shame.
Yeah,
That is a
that
shame.
is a
That-
shame because
that
the whole
brings it
point
short.
was going. I remember being a kid.
Yeah.
You wait hours to
Yeah.
see those.
The caravan's coming around.
Even
and
it's
then
100 cars and stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
Now it's gone.
Do you know what? I think
It's
you're
almost
right,
gone.
because I went to the Tour de France exactly 12 years ago, and in Sable d'Olonne, and I remember them
Beautiful.
chucking stuff
Yeah.
like crazy. And we were there, and I was there last year at the Tour de France, 2 years ago. There was nothing. Yeah, last year, and there was nothing.
Almost nothing yet.
Nothing.
That's sad.
The caravan was shorter, less stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. It is a bit of a shame. Isn't it? I mean, there's nothing for the TV, because for the TV audience, they don't care because they don't see the caravan. But if you're there,
They camp out for days, right?
yeah, people
that
camp out
stuff.
for days. They follow around France.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know,
And
That's-
also, there used to be 2 girls on the podium greeting the guys that win.
yeah,
And now there is 1 man and 1 woman. Because they didn't want 2 ladies. Said it was misogynic to have 2 ladies and stuff. So
So does a man greet them with a kiss or a handshake or does
No,
does
he
hug
brings flowers and stuff. Yeah,
He brings flowers. Because the women, they greet them with a kiss, but
yeah.
the
I mean, it's finished. Yeah,
they don't do that no more.
Yeah,
Right.
sad, no? I mean, little stuff like this.
I mean, I think it's more sad for me that it's not coming through Lyon. I mean, it came through in 2012. I remember we were
Maybe
there
next year with the new mayor, like if
This is a good
Olas
segue.
is
Tell
coming
us.
back.
Yeah.
What's your prediction, Nico? Because I'm
It will be. I mean, there is. I mean, I don't know anyone, even people that voted for Doucet, which is the green guy, that will support him again for sure, because he just destroyed Lyon, in their opinion and in my particular opinion. And I think Jean-Michel Aulas will come back for sure because he's a legend. I mean, he's done so much stuff for the Olympique Lyonnais, the entrepreneurship, the vision he has. I mean, he will not destroy everything. I think there is some stuff he will go backward on what Doucet did, but his vision is better for the city on the international level.
I mean, Lyon is an international city. Deserves to be on the international stage. So
it's getting, you know, we just, I don't know. It's
Blow shot.
Yeah.
it's falling in and on itself.
Well, I was going to follow this up precisely with a question to yourself, JLo. Like, what
Well, I'm going to throw
what
it
is
back to Bill in a
happening?
second.
what is happening in Lyon?
The answer.
So
What is your feeling
Lyon
about the future?
So Lyon's an amazingly beautiful city, right? I think we can all agree with that. Anyone listening to this has heard of it, even if they haven't visited it. French people will tell you that Lyon is the or one of the gastronomic capitals of France.
Of the world.
Of the world,
Number
yeah.
one in the world.
See,
No, but for sure. No, but
I was, do you know,
without
but
question.
the Syrah is the number one.
I'm sorry, this was red meat to a Frenchman. I was waiting for Nico to get agitated.
You are a Frenchman. You should be saying.
I'm a half
I don't
French.
say. Pretty sure you write down what the first capital.
Yeah.
Is, gastronomic. For sure, it's Lyon.
Do you know,
How many chefs we have around here, like on the 50 miles
radius. Uh-huh.
3 stars Michelin.
Yeah, but don't forget that's a French system. But anyway, I remember spending far too long arguing with a Lyonnais until 2 a.m. in Barcelona about the fact that Lyon is not the capital of food of the world.
Please.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, la capitale mondiale de la gastronomie.
Yeah. Is this a French art? Is this
No,
tourisminfrance.com? You need to cite your source.
Definitely American.
Listen, what is the world capital of gastronomy? Lyon comes up. So not only is it France's second
It's
city,
well known.
but it is the
which
world
one is-
gastronomical capital of.
Which
Come
one
on.
is?
We've got
Nico,
Please.
no.
Ask,
Give me a number
Okay,
two.
well, what's number 2?
What's number
Nico, what's number 2 behind Lyon then? If Lyon's number 1 in the world, what's number 2?
Number 2 in the world? I will say Rome.
Okay, what's number 3?
I will say something in India, maybe New Delhi or something like this.
Okay,
But look, you get into all sorts of things when it comes to where you can get the best restaurants, etc. But in terms of Lyon's place and the gastronomical
it can't just be about
story,
it can't just be about restaurants.
No,
No, it's not.
It's about the culture.
Yeah.
It's about the Syrah, which is the biggest event in the world for food. It's about Paul Bocuse. It's about all those amazing chefs in a 50-mile radius. I mean, obviously, we invented so many recipes here in France, which is the basic of. I mean, even Gordon Ramsay told us it was Lyon in a very recent interview he made. So, no, there is no doubt about it.
there's no doubt.
Which
So
is
we'll start again. So Lyon is the gastronomical capital of the
Well,
world.
I would say
Start with this.
it's a little bit okay. I mean, I would argue it's probably Japan, but anyway.
Yeah, so the big cities are going to have great chefs. There's no doubt about it. But Lyon and its links to the gastronomical story,
You know,
history.
the main constituent of all the dishes here is not even from here.
Which is,
A potato.
I would say it's butter. French.
Let him get through his point. What is your point?
I said constituent and not ingredient. But okay, with semantics aside,
Yeah.
my point being that the humble potato is the mainstay of the cooking here in Lyon.
Mhm.
You can't have a dish without it. It's not even from here. It's not even native to here. It's an import. Whereas, and so if you're kind of importing the main ingredient, which makes your gastronomy so special, surely that doesn't quite.
All right. Well, we'll agree to
Jive.
disagree on this.
Sec-
But let's get back to
pretty
what
sure
makes
you-
Lyon
the
so
best
great.
burger
You a
in the
lobbyist
US.
for the
for Japan, not at all.
somebody?
For all the sushi.
We're
chain-
trying to help out Lyon tourism here, and you're actively destroying it.
No, but this,
You will not go hungry.
no, I'm not saying the food is anything but great. But the second point is the wine. If you didn't couple it with the wine, then it's definitely not the gastronomic capital of food of the world. Would you agree with that?
I don't think so.
That's a yes. He shrugged his shoulders in a very French way. That's a yes.
No, because I'm a wine lover, but I know many people that don't like it, and still, and they are foreigners, and
you
for it is
No.
amazing.
Nico, you cannot.
No, because you speak as a French guy, but I understand that a lot of people don't link good wine and food like systematically. I mean,
But if you go to any decent winery around here, and around here there are many of the best in the world.
you will say that's what I.
Yeah, they will say you must drink this with this food, and
Yeah,
you must have
but of
this
course,
food with this
the
one.
most amazing experience is with wine for sure.
So the question
I
then
don't think
becomes,
it's mandatory.
to these wine guys, the question then becomes: do you make your wine thinking about the food it's going to be paired with, or do you make your wine independent completely
And let the
of
chefs
food?
do their thing.
And I think the answer to that, I don't think the answer to that is no. I think the answer is yes. We do think about the food it will be paired with and how it matches with the food. The way it cuts through the grease of the duck, for example, is when you have acidity within the wine, and you balance that with the tannins, you are thinking about how that's going to marry with the food that you're going to be eating.
Right.
So my point is, if you can't drink alcohol at all, let's say, this ain't going to be the capital of food of the world.
Right. But let's get back to, you were talking about the mayor. This is what you were talking about.
Here, Nico and I can find agreement.
Right.
So the story here, briefly, is Lyon was a gangbusters commercial city for ages and decades. And basically, it essentially got quite rich. Lyon is actually maybe surprisingly wealthy. And then what happened is, like all these sad stories go, it got a little bit too comfortable. And the people of Lyon voted in a green, ecological, communist, basically, I would argue, mayor. And that happened in 2021 or 2020? 2021 or 2020?
Oh, 2021, yeah. Because it's 4 years, so it would be 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so 2021. Everything changed after that, didn't it, Nico?
In a bad way.
In a bad way, not in a good way. Bill, you were here during that period, right? For the whole period?
We've all been here during that period.
Yeah, I got here end of 21.
Now, I read articles on this guy. I listen to interviews of this guy. I mean, he makes the hairs on
Since 2020.
the remaining hairs on my head stand on edge. 2020, that's what it was, because it was during the COVID period. And I remember at the time for these municipal votes, I didn't bother to vote because I just thought, it's going to be fine. But in fact, it wasn't, because there was a mega low turnout, partly because it was COVID and these guys squeezed through. But it's also because, in my view, the complacency of the people who live around here, and all the kind of bobos, as we like to call them, they're all like, yeah, it's a good idea to have a green mayor. He's going to greenify the city. But no, he has effed it up.
How has he done that?
Well, one of the first things that he said and declared when he came into power was that Lyon was no longer open for business. He did not want outside businesses to come and set up shop in Lyon. This was finito. So no more. And the way they would do that before is provide them with land, tax incentives, subsidies, give them, lots of different things that the government can do, mainly around tax and stuff. But that's how you would encourage them. And then they would build these places like Techlead, which is up, not far from where you and I live, Ross, which is in the north of the city, where you have even billion-dollar companies there. And there are many, many companies in that one area. By building a concentrated area of businesses and give them what they need. He didn't want any of that. Instead, he's done the opposite and made it difficult for people to get to work, get home from work. He's actively told them we don't want this anymore. He doesn't provide the same financial incentives anymore. And there's a bunch of businesses in the center of town who've kicked off because they've essentially had their lifeblood cut off.
Yeah.
which is, you know, traffic and people passing through.
Yeah. Very difficult to get into the city now.
And he goes,
Great, great once you're in to walk around, but to get in and to get out and to, I imagine for businesses downtown, it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. But we think that there's going to be a change in next year.
Next year, yes. And I think so. Jean-Michel Aulas,
The president of
the ex-president
of
Olympic Lyonnais, I think he still have a little bit of
connection with
it, but
I'm going to a game tomorrow.
yeah.
oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to a game. My first game.
Tomorrow or Sunday?
Sorry, Sunday. I'm going to Lyon PSG.
Paris Saint-Germain, yeah.
Yeah,
This is the biggest game in the calendar, is
That's
it?
right.
For Lyon.
that's right. I've got a cousin coming to town, and he's a big football fan, and
How'd you get tickets for that?
he's done it all. He's done it all. So he called me up and said,
You in the Lyon or the PSG end?
"I don't know. I haven't seen the tickets. I'm hoping
No, you can be in the.
we're in the Lyon."
PSG.
The studio is too small, and I think it's only for the.
They only sell those tickets to those guys, do
I
they?
think
To
so,
the
yeah.
to the clubs over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
that's
small.
probably right.
But we would like to get. Obviously, Lyon has a very good football team, an excellent rugby team, still developing, and would love to get certainly the English speakers onto the podcast. So if you are listening to this, you will be listening. They will be listening to this, surely, right?
Of course they will.
Yeah, they would love to get
It's
them
the
on.
first thing they do when they stop training. They get in the Lamborghini and turn on the podcast.
Yeah, and we're actively recruiting ruckers. We should probably talk about what rucking is, right? I mean, because you haven't been rucking, but
I haven't even seen
Lyon is a wonderful
I've only
rucking.
ever heard you guys talk about
see
it.
that.
And break you in.
This sounds like a bad episode of a prison thing.
Don't worry about it. It'll be fun.
Do you want to tell us, Billy? Give us the Lyon rucking plug. What rucking is, how often we're doing it, and what's lined up for Tuesday.
Well, it's very simple. You take a backpack and put some weight in it, whatever works for you. Like you said, Lyon, the hills, the rivers. It's a great place to ruck.
The beer at the end.
And usually they're designed around a finish point, which will probably be near
A watering hole of some sort.
a celebratory beer at the end, at least one.
But what's the ethos behind rucking then? Because if you got a bag with some, let's say, some rocks or something, some weights inside, what's the ethos behind it? What's the?
Well, I mean, obviously it's designed as a military, measurement point. Most soldiers have to do a 12-miler in three hours with 35 pounds. But, for civilians, it's great because it gets you out of the house, see your city. For me, it was great moving here because I would just put the ruck on and like, what's down in this direction? I'm going to walk down the Rhone until the sidewalk runs out. And, I got to see most of Lyon that way. The best is to do it with a bunch of, people.
That you enjoy talking to.
Yeah, because you're going to be talking for a while.
Like-minded people.
Like-minded people who don't mind.
No, a lot of talking, which is
A lot of talk, right?
No, but it was not something I was expecting at first.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You thought it
But
was
it's
just like
but a lot of
kind of like a 5K.
happen,
Just,
yeah, it's nice.
You're on your own. No, a lot of talking, and then you fall back or somebody speeds up, and then you talk to somebody else. That
Is the idea that you walk uncomfortably fast?
No, you walk whatever works for you. Some days you feel like you really want to tear it up, and it's like, okay, this is the finish point. We'll meet you there. Or you're being really slow, you're hungover, or which I found that 3 miles is the end of hangover point.
Is that right?
Just as it's not scientific, but I proved it.
It sounds about right. 5K.
If you can get a 5,
Sweat enough over 5K.
Summertime helps get rid of it faster. But just in my own diagnostic. But yeah, you slow down. Or a couple guys brought their kids out, so getting to know them and their experience here. Right, Luke and Emmett, different perspective on the place. Now the wives want to start their own thing, so we're not sure on the the crossover. A lot of guys get out there because of the wives, and but we can.
It's a bit like golf. This.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine the wife start coming up to golf. Like, hold on a second.
I mean, they were talking about
Be some crossover. I mean, there is one event that I'm gonna run soon. I hope if we get enough people do it. But it's kind of like a ruck and then a workout. So you can make it anything you want. I was talking to you about, for Veterans Day, Go Ruck sponsors they call it Chad 1000. It's kind of like a CrossFit workout, but it's 1,000 step-ups. You decide what works for you, and you decide on the weight, but 1,000 repetitions. So we did that about 3 years ago, and that'll take you out no matter what you pick.
And it's crazy how much, because I'm used to lift weight. I used to like go to the gym every day and stuff and try to build muscle, but how 10 kilos or 20 pounds, 25 pounds in your backpack is a lot of weight.
You feel it.
You can't realize it, but after a few miles, you're like...
Right, in the beginning, you don't feel too bad, and then about 4 or 5 miles.
You want to show off with 20, yeah, it's easy, 20, but on your back,
right,
20 kilos, fuck, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good workout.
It's a great workout, and especially for losing weight.
A bag that's adapted to this.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. Yeah,
Go Ruck is a real brand.
Go Ruck does have the best. With
if you want to send us
I do not get sponsorship.
Tell us more about that.
There's a special discount code at the end of the podcast.
It's a lifetime guarantee on that. So
that's interesting.
I've already worn one out.
Lifetime of Rucking.
Yeah,
it's pretty expensive.
It is expensive.
It's an investment.
Yeah,
like a backpack is literally like 400 euros.
What?
Three, 4, yeah.
The Go Ruck EU site has a sale now for the Rucker. It's like $123.
Yeah, it's very well built, but it's because I don't think maybe they sell 1,000 of it. So
right.
It might be
it's
cost to scale.
I mean, I don't want to use the word boutique, but it's if you're just looking to work out, you're not going to buy this ruck. But if you like it, and you can't beat the quality. So I had one that wore out on the strap, took a picture of it, sent it in to their customer service. They're like, we can't fix that. What color do you want? Mm-hmm. And then a couple of weeks later, I got the brand new one.
Yeah, really impressed with the packaging and delivery.
Customer service. And I got to say one thing though: the T-shirts, they don't die.
They don't die.
They don't die.
It's very well made.
And if anyone's going to know Billy, it's going to be you.
Is it? Is it?
I might overindulge.
You can point us to.
I might overindulge a little bit, but
no, it's great. And I think the other important point, Nick, you touched on it, but it's the mental health side. So you are going out with mates, you're doing something hard, you're doing it together,
getting the sunshine.
Yeah, getting sun on your face. Hopefully wind at your back, and you go out, and especially when you're doing it to mark special occasions, it's a sort of giving thanks. But there's nothing better for weight loss that I found. Absolutely nothing better for weight loss.
You do it your way, which is pretty nice. I mean, we were like setting up that lower.
Yeah, so I garden with it.
You garden with it. Take it back 10 kilos, 50 kilos, and you just garden with it. And
and that way
when you're gardening,
that's right. You're moving around, so you're doing all and then by the end of the day, by the end of the day, you've not only fixed your garden, but you've had a good workout too.
One thing about Normandy I was happy with is that you guys got to see outsiders from Lyon, doing Go Ruck.
Yeah.
So you didn't just think I was like, come out with this weird cult thing.
I thought you were the owner of the stuff.
I was like, thank God, I see other people.
Backpack.
And I'm checking out the gear.
Yeah.
Because they had we were doing a 12 miler, right? We were doing the 12 miles, but the start point was the same for the 26 miler. So I thought that was good, where you could see the,
And you finished, Ross. You finished.
Yeah, you
running.
stepped it out.
Yeah, well, I can't. So I'm sure
you were too excited.
Well, when I see
competition.
Yeah. One guy was going. He said,
Yeah. So
these
two guys with just weighted vests on, they didn't have the proper ruck on. I'm sure they seemed to have weighted vests. Anyway, they didn't have much weight.
Yeah.
But I was carrying quite a bit of weight, and then they took off. So we got through the tour part, right, which was the halfway point. Cadre down takes us to whatever it was. But I ended up doing 21K. So I don't know what ended up happening, but
I think he brought us a little further.
Yeah.
To see the western edge of Omaha Beach.
Yes.
It was a little farther than the 6 mile point.
And then we turn around to come back, and these two, they took off like rabbits. I was like, oh, Billy, it's so I went to chase them down, but didn't catch them. But it was great. By the time we get back, pissing with rain into the ocean, nice bit of cold.
Get a free beer.
And a free beer.
It seems to me with this thing, it would be quite nice to go uphill as opposed to just flat.
It can be as hard, honestly. At
I
some
want to
point.
do that. I want to get it up into the Mont d'Or.
Because you got the Mont d'Or just here. So it seems to me like what would be cool is if you start in the center of town and make your way all the way to the top of the Mont d'Or
Yeah.
and back down again. Because that's basically...
When do you want to do it?
after this. So it's basically 7K more or less. Depends where you go to, but to my house, right, which is at the top of the Mont d'Or.
You see? No, let's make it clear.
That can't be the
I'm
start.
from Collonges-Mont-d'Or. Collonges-Mont-d'Or is okay, but I'm from the lowest part of the Mont d'Or, which is just beside Paul Bocuse, so it's a good area.
It's a very good area. Yeah.
So the highest you are
Do you know
in
why
the
Paul
Mont d'Or?
Bocuse went there? Because the land was cheap. They needed a lot of space for the car park.
No, he said because he was able to afford La Saône, and people are not able to afford La Saône anymore, so that's what he said to rich people.
He's winding you up.
Yeah, and then now he's showing up because he lives in the top of the Mont d'Or. Come on.
The Saint-Didier au Mont d'Or, not just
Saint-
any Mont d'Or.
Saint-Didier.
Not Collonges,
Saint-Didier.
not Limonest, not Saint-Cyr, Saint-Didier au Mont d'Or. Sorry to, just want to make sure we know. So anyway, you
Is
can...
that the highest point in Lyon?
It's,
Or the surrounding
it's
area?
certainly the best point in vantage point
All right.
for a view on Lyon.
That's disturbed because of a tree.
Ah, we have a point now.
Huh?
You can't actually see Lyon because of the tree. So if there are any trees
the
that have
tree?
felled,
You have
In
a
the
tree
tree that I
that's
cut
blocked-
down.
Did you?
What?
You cut that? You cut that illegally?
What?
Uh,
No. There is the tree still there. Yeah,
yeah.
not for much longer.
Are you allowed to cut a tree just like
So
that?
actually, in front of me, there's 2 houses getting built.
There's a lot of construction up there.
Anyway, to be continued. But my point is, if you're going to go rocking to the top of the Mont d'Or, there's basically 2 points you could aim for, I guess.
Mont-Cendre?
Verdun.
Yeah, I suppose so. Mont-Saint would be one of them. So let's say 3. So you got Mont-Saint, you got Le Montagnard, which is right next to my house, which is the restaurant that does the fondue
Yeah.
at the top. You could aim for that, or you could go to the Montou, all the way to the top. But that's how many meters of climbing? That's a good 400 meters of climbing. That.
But Montou, it's like this. No? Like if you go to the top of...
Yeah,
like,
to the Montou.
Yeah, Montou. Right before the Montou, it's a little bit... The road is a little bit up and down, no?
Only
It's not only climbing.
only towards Collonges.
Oh,
But you don't want to go that way.
why?
Well, it's
Excuse me, why?
because it's not as pretty that way, is it?
Ah, it's pretty.
Not as pretty.
Not as pretty?
There is the good side of the Mont d'Or and the not so good side of Mont d'Or.
But it's almost impossible not to find a piece of land. So that's very... Like 2 houses built, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's one of these families that owns quite a lot of land, and they had this field that just sat there for doing nothing. It's a big field. I don't even know how much they sold it for, but it
But
must.
there was not that many family in the Mont d'Or, like, because it was agricultural...
It was agricultural families who.
And then, like, there was maybe 10 families in total that owned the whole stuff, the whole Mont d'Or. And the one that sold my piece of land, she was one of the granddaughter of one of the owner, and she was not even remembering that she has this piece of land. That's how many money and land they have, And she sold me a little piece of it, and she said, "Yeah, okay." So finding a piece of land now is very expensive.
It's very, very expensive, very difficult.
Yeah.
But it's it's surprising. It might be surprising for people to hear that Lyon is really expensive as a city. If you want to buy a house and stuff, it's really expensive.
Definitely.
It's really, really expensive. It's like crazy prices when you compare the fact that it's not that big a place, and it's quite far from blah blah blah, and it's the second best food place in the world, and etc. etc.
What is the first one?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Okay.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's a pub up on top of there.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
We would have to bring.
No, there's the Montagnard.
He's been sent there as punishment.
There's Mont-Saint. There is a pub, not a pub, but a
Where?
Mont-Saint.
Oui.
There is a restaurant up there
Yeah, there's a
and a
lovely
bar. There's a
Colleen.
place
That's where we've
with a
been.
big
Colleen.
terrace.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks for the invite.
Lovely spot.
So there's
You were at your godmother's at the time.
of course I was.
But what the mayor is doing to slow things down on the business front hasn't stopped Lyon emerging as a podcast hub in France and in Europe.
Yet.
And none more so than this podcast. Did you guys catch my conversation with Antoine Gliksohn?
Yes.
Give me your feedback. Lay it on thick. You can hold back a little bit, I guess.
Because you didn't do your homework?
No, because I'm sure he's got a lot to say.
You have a lot to say?
Well, I was going to say one thing, but I'll hold back, as he says.
No, please don't hold back. Go for it.
No, please.
No, that was
Billy, what did you think of the
Well, I was just,
of the conversation?
I was just taken back by the professionalism of it, moving from the audio right to the video, and just, you seem to be in your own skin there, and so did he. It was,
So to
it
speak.
it didn't seem to be like a big learning curve there. I felt like it was.
It's a tough transition to go from audio to video. I don't know how you guys have found it today. This format, obviously, a little bit different to the format that we've been doing with the audio in our audio studio up in the Mont d'Or. But all of this stuff comes into it in terms of the table, the microphone, where you're sitting. So it was brand new, and the first time that I'd met him in person. But what I will say is incredible to sit down with a leader of an organization, whether that be an executive director, a president, a secretary general, but for him to do a long form like that, and to stay on point, to reveal a lot, to provide some proper insights. I have to take my hat off to him, for doing it. And the content that we've got from it, I hope, is going to build in terms of raising the awareness and, developing campaigns, both for fundraising awareness, but to really try to get a lot of momentum, behind the organization so that it can really deliver results in the field. And I think that, that's a part of it. As a leader, you are the spokesperson. And, when we're looking at leadership, you've got to get in front of it. You've got to represent it. And so for me, talking to him was really interesting. And I hope that, the audience that we're watching were able to take away, valuable new insights to albinism and, and the community's causes.
My question will be, I didn't really get the answer to what I was expecting, just in terms of medication. Is there any possibility in the future that there will be a cure to it, or like a reversible type of stuff? Like, I don't know if...
He was very specific to say that no, I think is the short answer to that.
No forever, do you think? Or you think it's
I don't think you could say sort of no forever. But, there's obviously the genetics part of it and the genetic research part, which is a huge part that, we're going to be looking into. And that requires obviously a lot of grant money and a lot of research needs to be conducted there. But I don't think that this is something big that they're, and I might be completely wrong. It's a good question. At this particular point in time, way past my research, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything about it. But I know that there's major research obviously being done, and we need a lot more money going towards that. So I hope that through this podcast and through the various other people that we can get on, and if it can be a regular talking point amongst us, then I'm sure we can certainly raise awareness to what is for me a very vital subject.
No, but my question, maybe I was not specific enough, but like in your personal case, if we can talk about it quickly, did you discover your daughter was touched by this when she was born, or did you know it prior to it, like during pregnancy?
No. So her condition was not known. We didn't even know that we were carriers.
Okay, so there is nothing you can do to know if anything can happen during the pregnancy that you...
I mean, no. Because I don't know. Do they take? I'm sure that you could. There is some genetic testing that you can do
You
if
know,
you've
maybe
got the
through
money,
blood or
if you've got the
through,
money for sure. If you've got the money for that, then perhaps.
Yeah, but it's
Um,
free in France. I mean,
No, I
don't
think
they do it
I
in
think
Britain?
I think I'll have to check this, but I think I'm right in saying that you can't just sort of say, look, take my genetics, take my wife's genetics, and then just
And
do a
do
bunch
whatever
of
you want. Yeah.
tests for. But I think that that this is precisely the sort of ethics that then get called into question. How far we are willing to go. That's a whole other different topic. But
But the quality of life for a person who has albinism, yeah, the only, from my understanding, the only thing that changes is you got to be careful of the sun.
yeah,
Got to wear special glasses, maybe. That's about it.
yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
No, that's pretty much it.
So it doesn't change your life like someone who's got Down syndrome, because then you got to take care of that child, that person the whole time. Or it depends on the level, I think, of Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Some people with Down syndrome can work, some cannot. But that's a life changer. Whereas it doesn't seem to me that having a child, for example, that has albinism is a life changer.
Yeah. No, there's
You got to make
it's
adjustments,
subtle adjustments. Yeah,
but it's not a life changer.
absolutely right. I mean, she will be able to, and especially growing up in Europe, which looks to be where she will grow up. But no, there's absolutely nothing stopping her from doing. Okay, I don't think that her hand-eye coordination when it comes to racket sports will be something that she'll naturally excel at.
She won't be representing France at the beach volleyball either.
Representing France, definitely.
Well, I
Definitely
suppose she
not.
could wear all cover, I suppose.
So there's elements of that. Obviously a marathon runner, you're out, in the sun, and you can protect yourself. So there's good measures.
But my serious
But it is
question
a good
behind that
point, yeah.
frivolous comment was: can you do sport outdoors wearing? Can you cover yourself up completely in
Yeah.
clothes
Yeah,
and be safe doing sport outdoors all day?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
there's no limiting factor.
There's no
really.
limiting factor. You're
Yeah.
you're applying your sun cream. You're out at specific points. There is protective clothing, and all of which we'd like to sort of help where we can. I've certainly spoken with my team who are fully behind, the efforts across campaigns and fundraising to make sure that there is more awareness around albinism in general and what the support network and networks are available to parents. What I will say is that there are it's an incredible community in terms of how many albinism associations there are, where they are, what they're trying to do. Like it really is.
What's the percentage of the population that has this?
So this is where the data on it becomes very. This is where there's a shortfall in the data. So and this is really interesting across the board, and this is where I think AI can really help, because the data is not accurate, and so the conclusions aren't great.
Why is it not accurate? Because you just have to. I mean, you see it when the child is born, so you can just
It's quite easy
check.
to
Yeah.
identify.
Yeah.
It's easy to identify, but I think that you're relying on accurate sensors. You're relying on that data being kept
But there
up
must
to
be an
date.
estimate,
There are estimates, and
like 1 in 10,000.
so the estimates that they go with, and in the podcast he sort of touches upon why it's absolutely absurd. There was some random study that was done in, I want to say Kansas or something, I can't remember exactly where in America, and they came up with this 1 in 17,000, and then that was then taken and used worldwide as a global statistic. So you'll still get that, and I'm having online conversations now with AI to sort of say, look, what is the reality in this, and they're still spitting out these figures rather than pulling on the accurate data. So I think that there is definitely a need for the Alliance, a global organization, to get a hold of that data, obviously. And but you've got to be very careful, obviously with security, privacy, protecting all of this, and making the sad part which comes out tomorrow, which is part 4, is, you know, the persecution of people with albinism, and especially in sub-Saharan Africa.
Does it happen? Was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
Is your daughter already suffering from bullying or something like that at this age, or when does it come? Do we have any clue? Yeah, kids, because kids are brutal.
Yeah,
Like
kids are brutal. I would say no at the moment. I think it's just starting to emerge, which is why I wanted to ask Antoine the question of, you know, how old were you when you first became aware, you know, of your condition? You know, certainly not a disability or an illness. So, you know, getting the language right around it, again, was another topic that I wanted to have him explain. But the situation, I think, is unique for us, given that, you know, I'm blonde hair, blue eyes. And at the moment, our daughter is definitely identifying more with people that look like me. Whereas my wife is Asian. And, you know, she'll say, Daddy, we have blue eyes and we have blonde hair. And whereas my other daughter will look more like Mummy. And so in her mind, she's sort of figuring it out like that. And I'm sure it'll come. We're just trying to, and this, in the strange twist of it all, is your child kind of actually, I've come to learn, does have that inbuilt mechanism for the most part to deal with life, right? To deal with life as they're going to experience it. I'm sort of becoming more acutely aware of that. So, and perhaps that's just me being hopeful, but, you know, I'll be doing my best to make sure that she can defend for herself and, you know, understand it as clearly as possible, which is part of the journey, right? It's part of understanding from other people, which is, again, why I was so impressed, you know, to give so generously in your answers. At a very personal topic, whilst leading a community, I thought was very, very impressive. And so we'll have the conversations across the areas. I'm looking to speak with, you know, leaders in the dermatological world, leaders in the ophthalmology world, you know, leaders within nystagmus, leaders within advocacy. We had a big week because we had the UN independent expert presented a report and her findings in front of the UN General Assembly. So that was another opportunity, you know, to promote the issues. I think that there is a need, if I could give my sort of advice to it, there is a need to keep things very direct and very on point, so to speak. So WHO has recognized sun cream as an essential medicine. And from there, don't try and fix all the other issues, but just let's get sun cream, an effective sun cream, delivered to where it's needed most, together with the awareness of how to apply, when to apply. And you know, I think within our generation, you know, I remember growing up very clearly in the Far East, sun cream, you had to apply it, you had to have it, you know, and still to this day, my sister who is in that world, in the dermatological world, you know, would always sort of recommend sun cream as a, you know, as a way of you know, retaining beauty and youthful looks in the future when you get old. So there is clearly, you know, damage that's caused, and, you know, I think that the more parents become aware of that, the better. Jayla, what did you think of the overall?
Well, as I said to you earlier today, it keeps popping up in my feed.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing. It used to be bikes. Now it's albinism.
Right.
So it's clearly successful at getting in front of me. That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll do more of these. But, you know, the health part in terms of, you know, looking at the supplements, learning about sun to get, when to get it, etc., and other elements. Do you want to tell us about your health update?
I think now I tried so many supplements, especially when I was working out a lot and stuff. My goal was to maintain energy and to maintain a certain level of muscle also. But I think now I'm really focusing on three things. also related to my health condition. It's
Do you want to just tell us?
vitamin.
Do you want to just tell us before we go into it? So, what's for those that didn't see the previous episode?
So I have a multiple sclerosis.
You have multiple
for more than 10 years. So it goes up and down. You get some crisis from time to time, maybe once a year. It can be very light, but it can be also like, I lost the use of my legs for a few months last time. So it can
for a
be
few
hard.
months.
Yeah, for 3 months I was almost unable to walk. So then it's come back.
No rocking.
It's coming back. No rocking now. You were lifting me up, and it was. No, but the thing is, so I really realized that vitamin D is the number one supplement you should take, as long as magnesium, essential. I mean, magnesium is responsible for, I think, over 1,500 chemical reaction in your body, just magnesium, but you have to take the proper magnesium, which is, of course, the most expensive, which is a chelate version, not easy to find. And also creatine. Creatine is, I think, when you talk creatine in France, it's like taking the highest level of drug you can take in sport, or I don't know why, when it is a very basic supplement, especially when you're working out. But it's very good for mostly, yes, building muscle and retaining water to get bigger muscle and energy. But now it's becoming something that is proven to be very efficient on your brain and keeping your brain well hydrated, and also improving your brain on a general manner. And so that the three main supplements I take at the moment: creatine, magnesium, vitamin D. Especially when you're over 40 years old, that the three number one you should take supplements.
Is there a magic capsule, or does one have to go and find the three different things?
What do you mean? Like
vitamin D,
yeah,
magnesium,
yeah,
and creatine.
Yeah.
Is there one pill or one medicine that does all of those?
No.
Or
It's never. You always have this, but it's never the proper level you need. That's why I always recommend the powder version, because you can get the most out of it. Like I need 5 grams, I can take, instead of taking 20 pills to get the proper amount I need. So powder is always the best, except vitamin D is always come in very small cups, and you can take 10,000 units a day, which is much more than you need, but that's very good. Yeah, magnesium and creatine, you take powder version. It works very well.
Yeah, so you feel that all of this works?
All of it work on my energy level, on my ability to function all day through, which is one of the main problem with my illness, which is to keep the energy level. Like if I didn't take any magnesium prior to coming here, I would be literally dead. Yeah,
right.
And also able to improve my memory, focus. So yeah.
So someone like you, Nico, with multiple sclerosis, something I've only ever heard of, I don't really know very much about. You're able to teach us non-multiple sclerosis people stuff that we should be taking anyway, just to help ourselves.
Yeah.
And your recommendation is vitamin D, creatine, and magnesium.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
what's
really interesting about Nick's journey into this is that indeed, because of a heightened sensitive situation, you've now, and a guy that used to physically train hard at the gym, you got the news of your condition, and then from there, and also, but it's linked to genetics too, right? So
we don't really know, but there was no case of multiple sclerosis in my family, so
okay.
But there might be.
Right, and you did the genetic testing, or
no, I did not know.
Okay,
no, it's not mandatory, but
yeah, it's interesting though, because from that, you then were able to strip it all back. You lost a lot of weight, start introducing supplements as you would hear them, and essentially live a better life because you were managing it so acutely, right? You have to manage it so acutely.
You have to live with it. You have to manage it. Yeah. Definitely.
Direct medicine?
No, it's not. It's just symptomatic kind of treatment.
Right.
So
he's always calling me up and saying, I'm now on this, or methylene. I mean, all of them really, which is a great.
I like to try new stuff.
You like to try, yeah, but you're going to, like, why not? Why not try it?
Just to
yourself.
try it for at least 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to
Yeah.
be to see the difference. I mean, and also omega-3 is it's a bit topic also, omega-3.
And is the healthcare in France, has it been good
It's amazing.
for you? Has it
It's
been?
amazing.
Yeah, the healthcare in France is absolutely fantastic.
I mean,
have to say.
I don't pay anything on I'm taken in charge 100% on anything which is prescribed to me.
Yeah.
When I saw the price of my medicine in the US, it's 20,000 euro a month, and it's free for me in France. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, hold on a second.
American.
Vitamin D,
It's free.
creatine, and magnesium cost you 20 grand a month.
Cheap? No. The syringe I take every day.
So
I
there
take
is a
every month.
specific-
Now the main it's called Kesimpta, the main medicine I take to prevent new crisis,
I
new
see.
peaks of my.
Right.
This one is cost a lot of money.
I see. So there is
All the
medicine
supplement
for
I
us.
pay
Yeah,
for my
okay.
client.
Yeah.
Right. So what is this medicine?
It's called Kesimpta. It's basically it's strange because most of the medicine in multiple sclerosis and in AIDS are
AIDS.
AIDS
SIDA.
SIDA are quite linked,
Mm.
and it's basically made to lower as low as you can your white cells
Mm.
for the medicines to work
Oh, I see.
as strong as it can, as good as it can, and so it's amazing that it's free.
Yeah.
It's very amazing, very lucky.
Well, nothing's free. Someone's paying for that.
Like we said, like basically because I was working in the cardiology world, selling defibrillators and pacemakers. A heart transplant in the US is $1.5 million in total.
What?
When in France it's free. You have to wait 3 years in France, average, to get, if you're not on the emergency list, to get a new heart. But in the US it's 1.5 million that you have to pay. It's crazy. Huh?
For a heart transplant.
Heart transplant, yeah.
Do you have 3 years to wait?
That's incredible. Anyway, so this is one area that
We will talk about.
we will be talking
Yeah.
about. And so, yeah, I think on that note, we will be doing, hopefully, this is a home team with the guys, and hopefully we can do that once a week, where we'll be talking about podcast episodes, health, rucking, law enforcement, the evolution of J-Lo's wardrobe as well as his business. You're going to be wearing that
I had to go
jumper every single
I had to go
podcast from now on.
deep and dark into the wardrobe to get this. I realized I didn't have any jackets.
That's fine.
They're all stored away somewhere.
It looks good. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen, very much for joining me, and thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, for listening. And we'll see you again soon.